All right, guys, welcome to the daily recap. Today is, what's today? Today's Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? Oh, it's Thursday, 12/20, December 20, 2018. It's Thursday. Somehow I lost a day. So as what I was saying, so for the new guys, the reason why I do daily recap is not to show you how good of a trader I am or how bad of a trader or what you should have done or not should have done, right? The point of the daily recap is for us all to examine and to learn something about the particular trade that occurred today. If there were really no reasons, I wouldn't clutter the video vault with a bunch of useless videos, right? I mean, so I call those hindsight gurus. Like, you know, they go back and they look at the end of the day, look at the chart, and then they go, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. And then everyone's like, oh, wow, you're right, man. You're such a smart guy. But in actuality, it's like, did you do those trades at that time? Or are you just going back and just being a hindsight warrior, right? Hindsight hero, like woulda, shoulda, coulda. So that's not the intent of these videos. The intent of these videos is to actually educate everybody, including myself, on what I did right and what I did wrong and how we can, you know, do it better in the future. So when there's a good lesson, I do the daily recaps. But when a standard stock is just standard, even though I've made a lot of money, there's really nothing to learn by it because it's a standard, right? You can go back. So this is how you can do it, guys. You can go back and look at the chart, any chart, and figure out what you should have done and what you shouldn't have done. What's the education there, right? The problem with that hindsight stuff is it's like everybody that's a hindsight is a perfect trader. Of course, you should have shorted at the top. Of course, you should have covered before the bounce, zombie bounce. You know what I mean? Any idiot can do that, right? So the point is to be real. These videos are meant to be real trading. Like, this is what happens. You screw up. And now let's learn for the next time. So in this particular case, let's look at IMPX. Sucker didn't bounce. There is no first bounce on the sucker. And the reason when I saw this, I'm like, dude, this is a perfect example for the daily recap. Why did it not zombie? It should have zombied. So let me pull some of this and I'll do so now you can see better charting for this. Remember, we called this in the room and I was like, dude, I figured it out, you know? Because I've been watching all these zombie plays. And I'm trying to figure out what triggers a zombie. So these are just my opinions. Once again, I'm not the master of all things, you know. These are just observations, okay? In stock trading, all you can do is observe a pattern, some sort of trigger, so some sort of signal for that you can trade off. And they're not 100%. If they were, everybody'd be a billionaire. They're not. There's so many nuances. So the thing is, if you can spot these nuances, these observations early, you can avoid losing your money. You may not make the money, but at least you're saying, oh, something's weird going on here. I better not trade it. So let's look at, so the first thing is IMPX. So this is the intraday chart, guys. Here's the time. So what's interesting here is, remember what we talked about process, right? So let's repeat again the process that determines how I trade these stocks. So every time I trade a stock, this is what I do. It's the same thing with all my daily recap videos. And once again, guys, this is my process. You can add or take away whatever you like that works for you, okay? If this doesn't work for you, that's cool. Add something else. Maybe you'll find some little tidbit that makes your process a little better. So every single stock, I need to figure out, this is the path I use, okay? I pull up you can use whatever site you want, Yahoo, whatever. I use Finviz because it's quick, it's fast loading, and none of these stupid ads that Yahoo has. Yahoo like screwed everything up with a bunch of these ugly ads. Ooh, my mouse just went, oh, weird. So one comment about this, El Dude, the Fernando, he's one of the moderators. He's creating a site, not even a site, a plugin for our MIC chat. That's going to have all this information in the one page. How sick is that? So the process that you see me now, maybe the next time I do the recap, you're going to see me use his app. Well, his plugin app, which is in the chat room itself. So if it's in there already and he's here listening, he can demonstrate it later, or he can demonstrate it now. Yep, it already works. That's even better. So we, he's going to train us, and maybe people hit him up. So I don't want to get into that because I haven't used it yet. I didn't have time, but I saw his video. It's amazing, and you can do it within this channel right now, the Daily Recap channel, to see it. What did he do? He did type in like get data or something, but it's in the video. But anyway, so what I do is I look up first, see what's going on. Why did the stock move up? So today's the 20th. Here's, okay, this is some stupid news, some stupid crap news as usual. But then I'm looking at this. Even though it's a crap news, I'm looking at the float. I'm like, dude, it's a 1 million share float. This thing is going to get pumped and dumped. If I was good, I would go long the stock. I didn't go long the stock because I know the outcome of it, the end game, and I was just scared to get dumped on. But the stupidity is this, in my thought, it's like there's other chat rooms that's going to pump and dump this because they always pump and dump this stock. They look at the float and they go, dude, it's such a small float. I'm going to pump this up. And so that's what they did, dude. They get in and they pump and they dump and they get out and everyone's dead. So I didn't have a short on this. Locate, there was no short, so I just kind of left it alone. The reason why I didn't focus on this is because there were other easier plays for me. I didn't want to devote 100% of attention on a hard stock. This is like the hot chick of the day. There were other easier stocks that I planned out ahead of time that worked well, such as AGEN and MRIN. I'll show you those after this. So in trading, it's all about opportunity cost. Sure, I could make money doing this, but what is so let me pull you up what I wrote here on Twitter. Your job as a day trader is to make the most money the easiest way possible with as little risk as possible. And to be able to repeat this trade process day after day, trade after trade, month after month, year after year. So basically, that's my mission as a day trader, is to make the most money I can, the easiest way I can, with as little risk as I possibly can. And that's why sometimes I just avoid playing these stocks. It's just too much risk. I'm sure I can make money on it. It's just too much risk. If there's maybe nothing else to trade, I might look at it because to trade something like this, you need 100% focus. You turn around, you go to the bathroom, you come back, and now you're just dead. You see what I'm saying? So there were other easier stocks that I like to trade, so that's why I avoided this. But let's talk about how I recognized that this was not a zombie. Okay? So when I'm trading this stock, the first thing I always do is this. I look at the float. I go, okay, now it's heavily rotated. It's 8 million, so it's a big low floater. Then I look into the filings. It's the same process. It's just like clockwork for me, right? I just go through this. I see the filings. I figure what's going on. I paint the picture, right? I paint the picture. Old, effective. Oh, there's a new ATM out here, right? There's a lot of shares. So so the painting the pictures, obviously they're here to sell you shares. Because it's not a coincidence that this just came out like a week ago. So when I saw this, I was like, that's why I was like, I don't know if they're going to dump on me or not. They may run, they may dump on me. I don't know. So with that in mind, the picture I painted was some sort of delusion. Of course, they're trying to raise money. Of course, they're doing some crap, right? So I was like, I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to dig into the filings. There were other easier stocks to trade. So I just avoided the long. In hindsight, of course, who went long. I mean, everybody looked at this and now, oh, it's an obvious long. But dude, man, you never know. The reason why also because I looked up to this. So when I saw this, I pulled up always the chart, the year chart. Then I zoom in. This is a piece of crap. That's why it's like so hard to go long. I know the end game, so it's just so hard for me to go long this because I'm like, even at $5, I'm like $4, and this stock was like $3. So that was okay. I guess under 4 it's okay, but then now we're talking about $5. It's almost up 100% of the day. It's like if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna eat a massive loss. It's like it's not something I can keep averaging down because this thing can go to 0. And reverse split. Look at all this crap, right? So when you look at this chart, you already know it's a piece of crap. And then you zoom in to 6 months. And I was like, dude, see, it killed people too. So it's a coin toss. You don't know what's going on. You can't short it. You can't long it. You know, it's very difficult in a day one. So I just keep zooming down till I get to some sort of comfortable, like this is way long ago. So I go to 2 months. And so this is what I see. I see on November 21st it ran. So what I do is this, guys. I pull up. I go into in DOS, there's a great feature. I can go back and see whatever the date I want. So I want to look at, what did I want to look at, guys, here? I want to look at November 21st. So I type in November 21st. Right, so I see the 20 to the 21st. So on that day, this is what happened. Dude, it went all the way to $7 and slowly faded throughout the entire day. So I'm painting the picture. DOS is awesome. You can go back and you can see the prints from any date you want. I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff, man. So now I'm looking at the time. I'm seeing like, it didn't really zombie. It made a little move and then just faded the rest of the day. You see this, guys? At 10:30, 11, it just started fading. So this was not, in my opinion, a true zombie. Let's take a look at the second data point. That was just one day. Maybe it was just one day. Then I'm looking at the 26th when it popped up again. Did the same thing. Popped around 10:30. Boom, it went down. And notice this. It didn't bounce up. There was no zombie. It was just, if you didn't get out on the first bounce, plus the name first bounce, you're dead. You're toast. You're toast. It's not a true zombie. And so that's 2 data points I use. So I'm like, maybe this time's different. Then I'm looking at, so with those bit of information, you know, I go, the both times it popped the last time, never zombied. It just faded throughout the entire day. You see that, guys? Faded through the entire day. So I'm like, this may not be a good zombie candidate. But then I'm looking at, boom. So it spiked up. And I'm like, oh, that's because of the chat room pump. It's not because of anything else. Maybe, you know, but who knows? So when it went back down, this is what I noticed. This was the third signal I saw that told me, dude, do not get in. Do not get in. It may work, but the probability for you of making money is very low once the top is hit and has started to tank. It's because on the way down, this is what I wanted. So let me explain to you my theory of the first bounce. I call it the first bounce on purpose because so how I do the first bounce is off of a big move. This is a big move, right? From 450 all the way to like $6 almost. That's a huge move. I'm waiting for that one big correction. Okay. And it comes when the float has been heavily rotated. So there's a lot of criteria that make it a very high probability trade. Okay. It's when heavily rotated. That means people are stuck upside down. It's in demand. So when a stock is heavily rotated, meaning there's more demand than supply, and one guy keeps flipping it back and forth to another guy, and there's not an endless amount of dilution going on. If that's the case, right? Then I could do the first bounce because I know that after the very big move, it's going to be if there's a big correction, I'm waiting for a big correction that it's going to do what's called, in technical terms, a dead cat bounce. I call it the first bounce to remind people that the first bounce is the good bounce. The second time it come back down, it may not even hold. So high probability trading on a long side bounce is the first bounce. Second time, third time, forget it, dude. It's usually going to go down. It won't hold the third time. And so why did I not get in at $5? It just shot right down. I knew, you know, I knew it wouldn't. The reason is because the first time it started coming down, it stopped, dude. It stopped. It needed to do this. It needed to go boom, straight down to 5, and then boom, straight up. That, and I'm done. That is the first bounce. Not a slow walk down. When I saw the slow walk down, it means that someone in there is purposely selling, but don't want it to tank. Because if it tanks, you can't get out. So he's purposely holding it up and trying to sell as many shares as he can before the final boom. It should have tanked. It should have tanked quick. The fact it didn't tank quick, I'm like, dude, this is not a candidate for the first bounce, because now what happens is this. The first bounce works because it was at 550 and it just corrected so fast that it had to technically bounce. It had to. Unless there was dilution, but in this case, it's like I don't see that heavy dilution up here. So you see how that works? So what happens when it starts to form another base here? 520. I'm like, dude, the difference between 520 and $5 is not that much. So now you have to move your line even lower to 450. The first bounce would have worked from 550 to 5. We could have had a 20, 30 cent move, and maybe it'll trap the shorts, but there was no shorts. There's no locates. So I wrote that in the room. There are no locates, guys. There's no locates. That means there's no one trapped. No shorts are trapped. So the only players are on this are longs. And if it doesn't bounce, those guys will sell. There's no one to trap. The only trap guys are the longs, not the shorts. And so that's why I got out. So if you want to get in, you get in the true support. This is the true support here. I call this the over-under, the must-hold line, because under 450 is the backside of the move. Under 450 is game over. But right now, it's hovering. So it's a coin toss. I'm like, dude, that's just – if I was short, I would short the $5 line now. Over here, you can. It's a gamble. This is one of those anticipation versus confirmation kind of thing. Right now, you're anticipating this will tank down. To be honest, I don't know. It's right here at the inflection point, right? Right here at the over-under line. Right here at the support. Right here at the line. So at this point, you don't know. If you shorted here, you will cover here. See how it works, guys? So look, there's one support here proven, 2 support here proven, 3 support here proven. This was the fake to trap or whatever it is. Now is the 4 support. So all day at 450, it was the big support line, which shows me that that is the true support. So that is the true over-under, because that's the make it or break it line. And so once again, this is how I knew to avoid getting into $5. I was here at $5, guys. I was spraying all over the $5 line because I was hoping under 550, it would go straight to $5 with a fudge factor maybe to 489, because right here, the fudge factor. So I was there to catch it, but when it dropped, it never. It went to like 512 or something, very small prints, and boom, shot straight up. I was close. It was close to my first entry. But then when it shot up, I'm like, dude, it's kind of weird. Someone's playing a game with it. It's not letting it naturally fall, you know? And so they're manipulating it. So someone there stepped in before the true bounce, the true support. So I pulled mine because I'm like, dude, I want to mess with this because they got some sort of intention in mind. And sure enough, dude, it just tanked, boom, all the way down. So if anybody was buying the $5 support line, they're screwed. Now they're stuck at 450. They're stuck here and selling at 450. Fudge factor is like, okay, well, you have a support line. When you bounce, I mean, when momentum takes it to that line, it's not going to just stop at that line and turn around. It may or may not, but sometimes I call it the fudge factor because you don't know where the true line is. I can only know the line, so I spray around that. So I call the fudge factor is the error. Fudge factor is the error. Because it's just, I mean, once again, this is all fudge factor guesstimation science, right? I mean, this is, I don't have the crystal ball to predict the future. All we can do is go back and look at what happened in the past. But what happened in the past, you know, is very indicative of what's going to happen in the future. But at the same time, there's a fudge factor, meaning like, who knows? There's so much volume coming down. Does it stop right at $5? If it was that, oh shit, MRIN. I just filled at 697. Oh shit. Now I just shut up. I forgot my orders are open. Holy shit. You see that, guys? Now it's going to 750 line. Let me take a look at this shit. I'm only in tiny, so it don't matter. Forgot my orders out. Shit. I had an order at 7 in the morning. But you see that shit? That was fucking true zombie, guys. I wanted to discuss this thing. Because this was the main thing, dude. So I was wanting the 750 line. Holy shit, this is crazy. Slippage, yep. So does that make sense, guys, on how I kind of thought IMPX was not a good zombie candidate based upon past data, based upon how they were stair-stepping it down like that and not letting it naturally tank? Yeah, man, that's why I scale. The reason I scale because it's if I want 5 average, I would go a little over 5, a little bit under 5. Because I don't know exactly that point, right? So that's why I scale. But now you understand, those are the things I was looking for INPX. I'm like, based upon past history, it never zombied. Now they're doing a dilution. I painted a picture. That's like, you know, on 12.7, they just did some sort of ATM on it, right? So they're setting something up. So I'm just like, dude, I'm just gonna touch it. And this is the backside of the trade now, IMPX. So under 450 would be the total backside of the trade. This is the over underline. At this point, so now this is how I look at indicators such as, oh shit, let me, MRIN. So what happens is, whoa, let me see. So now for me, I don't have a low key on this. I'm just done, dude. I'm not going to touch the stock. You don't have to trade every single stock, right, guys? So the great discipline is this, guys. It's the ability to not enter the trade, just to avoid. I mean, that's the thing, man. So you practice every day, like, dude, you don't have to enter every single trade there is. You don't have to be in every single play. It's okay not to touch the stock. But just watch it. Just learn from this. You know, so that the next time it happens, you could be in a better position to capitalize on it. Any questions right there on the first bounce and IMPX? The question is, I know what the first bounce is, but I've also heard you mention the first bounce is the fake bounce. Second could be the real. Yeah. So look at the way down. There's a bunch of fakes. That's what I meant. But what I call the first bounce is not the very first bounce, guys. It's not the very first fake little mini bounce. It's I call it the first bounce off of a big wash, like all the way down to the support, and then you sell on the way back up. So that's the only time. If it comes back down on the second try, it's more not going to work. The third time is definitely not going to work. So it's not the little fakes on the way out. So in the beginning, it's like, remember, guys, I go from line to line, and anything in between the line is what I call noise. So forget the noise. So in OTC, they stop, and it's a fake bounce. So it is the first bounce in OTC is fake, but that was not the true support. But in Nasdaq, it's a completely different game. So I'm teaching you stuff that's Nasdaq now. The first bounce thing in OTC was a different type of first bounce. And let's get back. So any more questions? So that's how I identified this to be not a safe first bounce. That's why I got rid of my orders at 5. I pulled all my orders at 5. I didn't trade anything at 5. How do you tell which line to go in first bounce? The question is, how do you tell which line to go? So at that time, the stock was at $6 and then 550. I used the bottom part. So there's 2 lines here. There's a $5 line and 450. So if it had tanked straight down, in my opinion, it wouldn't have just hit 450. That's way too much. They're stuck shorts, all that, and they're all trying to buy at the $5 line. So I had my orders at $5 just to capitalize on the first bounce that goes up. But once it broke under this, it will go down to the next line. And the next line is the over-under line, and that's the must-hold line. It's more scary. When you're at that point, I'm like, dude, this is just too much risk. because if it breaks under, it's going to keep going. So it takes, but it has to stop somewhere. So in this case, it stopped here and it's taking a break. So in my opinion, I really don't know. I have no clue what's going to happen. So it's okay not to have an idea what's going to happen. Just don't trade the stock. Why do you have to be in every freaking play, right? If it goes outside your parameters, you don't do it. So for me, the parameter was under 450 and it stays under 450. It's a short. You know what I'm saying? You can go long if you want here. Remember, risk. You can make any trade you want. Just make sure that you have proper risk management. Stop out when you're wrong. So I don't know what any stock does. I'm not going to convince you not to buy a stock. But what I'm going to convince you with is know where the must-hold support lines are, and you have to have a risk so that you don't just keep holding and then praying it goes back, because it's going to break a support and it's going to go to the next line. These stocks usually go from line to line. So when the first bounce didn't work, well, when the first time it tanked down, it didn't tank to my area. I'm like, dude, if it didn't do what I wanted to do, I'm going to get out. Why am I trading it on its terms? I need to trade on my own terms. My own terms as I needed a quick from $6 to $5, because that ensures that this was a huge panic and whoever wanted out is out. And they usually feel everybody at the bottom. But if it slowly starts to walk down, I'm like, dude, that's not a high probability trade for me. I'm looking for the easy score, guys. Okay, so let's take a look at more interesting MRIN. This is the more crazy play here, man. I spotted this. So what I did was this, guys. So yesterday, remember I said I'm clear-headed. I am hold on a second. Let me place some orders here. So when I'm most clear-headed is when I can make the best decisions. We're not here to, let me see, 685. Nah, dude. So the question is, would 685 be the first bounce? Why would 685 be the good bounce? It's what a good bounce would be 650 down here. Don't catch it in the middle of the lines, guys. But anyways, so let's talk about our MRN. So the point of this discussion, like daily recap, you gotta save these orders. I'm not gonna. It's don't be trading around these. So asking these questions, I think we can save that till the end. Because we have a lot of people now. So there's let me just finish what I was trying to say. So the best trades are the ones that you make when you are clear-headed. So yesterday I was like, dude, I'm making a plan what I'm going to do the next day for MIRN. So it closed around 6:30 yesterday. So I'm like, dude, if this sucker runs to 7, around 7:50, I would short it. But it looked like it's dead. It looked like the top has been formed. So I woke up this morning, this sucker was like kind of weak. So let's take a look at what it looks like on the 1 day. See, look at IMPX, guys. You just took a massive dump. You see what I'm saying? It's not a good long. It's a very, very scary long. The risk reward is not there for that. I would avoid. You see how that works, guys? So now, I mean, dude, now people are probably going to start loading up in the short, but there's no shorts. I couldn't locate any. There's no brokers that had it. Maybe offshore, but not USA. So there's really nothing for me to do. So I just walked away. More interesting is MRN. I had the plan to scale in the morning. So the plan, so around the $7. So I scaled in. Let me show you what I did. Let me put that over here so I can you can see the chart. I scaled to 7. And then what happened is this. I did the math. I took the closing price. I always do this, guys. So this is like, it should become a second standard, like second nature for you guys. So close at 665, 6.65 times 90. And I'm trying to get the SSR trigger, 598. So this is why I started to cover some right before that. So I covered some way down, cover the rest here. I always pay myself. Why don't you pay yourself? I don't know this thing's going to reverse and go to 10. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. So I always make a plan not to be greedy. At least I capture some of the money by taking money out, by scaling out. I put some money into my pocket, which cushions me. So now I'm already up like 40 cents on it, right? So if it goes back, at least I put some money in my pocket, so it cushions the rest of my position to hold. So this is very important, in my opinion, for long-term longevity. A lot of guys just go, I have one target. I'm the best trader in the world. I'm like, dude, it comes to me. I hold it all fucking day. Bank, bank. Why are you covering early? Why, you know? They also don't show you guys the 5 other plays that they're fucking stuck, that reversed on them, that they made no money and left a lot of money on the table. So for me, I like to walk away with money. It's an insurance policy. But what it does is once I cushion myself, I can afford to hold the rest of the position as long as I like. Because I'm already 40 cents in the money. If you lock nothing in, you're either all or nothing. So now that I locked it in, I can choose to add more or take some off. So now, but the thing is, once you lock the money in, you're playing with the house's money. That's why I always like to take money off the table. Look at this. Look where I took the money off. And it happens to be at the right support lines. Look, it's not, you know, like, look at this. It's supported here. So the way it went down is usually like a mirror, right? So I did take some off at the right spot. Sure, I left a lot of money because I didn't hold it all, but who knows, man? It could have trapped and went like this in the morning. But I recognize that this was an SSR, and I'm thinking there's SSR games, guys. It's people joke about this stuff and talk about some crazy ideas we have, but SSR is a real manipulation tool. They trigger it. And so what SSR is, a short sell restriction, meaning like shorts can't hammer it on the bid. They could just put up 1,000 shares and it'll just be stuck there unless some long hits it. But that's why it's very dangerous. If you're long and it's strong, why are you selling on the bid, right? You're holding it. And so they can just use SSR as a tool to walk this thing all the way up. I don't want to get into that too much because it's a whole video in itself. But just the idea of taking some money out is a huge thing, guys. And then calculating where the SSR is. Just so happens this thing went down to 540, like 550, 560 here, under that. And that's cool too. But then the thing is, remember, but I saw like someone buying. It's like, it's weird. That's why I covered it. I mean, I covered it here and I'm looking here to see if I should smack it again. Now I see, I'm like, dude, this is too weird. They look at this, no volume, dude. They spread it out, no volume. Once all the sellers are gone, there's no volume left, and it just kind of trickled. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna touch this shit. Because once, and then you know, I made the comment in the room, and sure enough, dude, this thing's just fucking zombie the fuck, and it went to 750. Let me see where did he go? Let me see. Let me see this. The high is pretty close to 750, man. That was my fucking spot. How did I get 750? Yesterday. See this? I'm always using yesterday's chart as a guide. So it kind of topped out up here. Yeah, because that's all we can do. We can use yesterday's chart to guide us for the future. That's the only thing we can do, guys. So the lesson here on MRIN is this, guys. This sucker was at 350 yesterday before the move. Ran up to 7-something, 750, 7. The high was like almost $8, dude. 758 or whatever it was. It was high, dude. Over 750. That's a giant ass move on huge ass volume. A lot of people are stuck. MRN was a easy to borrow stock. It's still easy to borrow as of this morning. That's why I was very scared of it. I'm like, how the hell can this thin stock? Let me see. Let me take a look at what the info for this stock is. So this is the thing. You always have to ask yourself. You have to paint the picture, right? You always have to paint the picture of the trade. Painting the picture of the trade. 4 million shares short. I mean, float. Look at all the inside institutionally owned. So half of it's left. So it's like 2 million float left. 3 million float. This sucker is like rotated tons of times yesterday. There's a lot of guys stuck. How can it still be easy to borrow? How? How can it possibly be easy to borrow? There may be more shares shorted than the whole float. And I can still short more. There's some sort of weird manipulation going on, guys. So that's why I was like, dude, it'd be very weary. So those are the signs I was looking for. I was like, this stock has gone up huge. Huge. Easy to borrow. The sucker's still easy to borrow. And then when it went down, it should have just collapsed, but it didn't. It got saved. And it got saved right magically at the same spots. The chart was still intact. Even though it was red by $1, I was like, I was still scared of it because of the SSR, because of the fact that it was easy to borrow, the fact that the volume died. It should have just go boom, boom, boom. Kept on stair stepping down in a reverse mirror image of the way up. But it got stopped, and now it's stair stepping up. So that's why I was like, you know what, man? Nail and bell. Take your money and leave. I took my money, I fucking left. And that's all you can do. Now during the zombie hour, they flattened it out and they just fucking trapped everybody. But the fact that I saw this and something weird, I was not adding at the bottom. I just left it alone. You know, just chilling. So if you can spot these things early, guys, you can make money, or you can not be stuck. You don't have, you know what I'm saying, guys? So a lot of games, man. A lot of games going on. Any questions there? Let me take a look at the questions. All these daily recaps are available for members in the video vault library. So you can go back home and study, because yeah, watching it once may not be enough. You can watch it and replay the stocks and then take a look at what's going on. Let me see. Let me take a look at the questions here. Why the questions? I try to use line charts, but found I couldn't spot stuff moves anymore. Can you talk about when you use line charts and when you use candles? Why not use them both same time? What's stopping you from opening the one ticker on 2 different charts? I have like 3 or 4 on one chart. I mean, on one stock. All sorts of stuff, different time frames, different stuff. So this thing, people go, oh shit, I never thought about opening more than one chart. So I'm like, dude, I have like, look, I have like 3 on MRN, you know. It's like pre-filled in keys, different stuff, you know. You can have a bunch of different charts, guys. This is why, in my opinion, get more monitors, man. People go ask me all the time, do you really use all your monitors? What do you use it for? Now you understand why I use it for, dude. I can have 4 charts on one play. Different time frames, bars, candles, whatever you're comfortable with. Along with 4 different order entries, ready to key in. I do not much of a momentum buying, but I will slam the bid on support breaks. And there was a video on that, the Trading Fish Academy, where I did that on ALQA, I think. So you can watch that. So that guys, watch all the Trading Fish. Those things are gold, man. We caught a lot of the cool stuff on the Trading Fish videos. So there's day recaps, but the super day recaps, we call them the Trading Fish, because those are like DVD quality. You know, those are like instructions, like dude, it's like the Bible, man. It's like, it shows like we caught one that was, we found the exact backside and all that stuff. So wow, look at this. It's gonna go up to like maybe $8 and shit. See, this is the ultimate trap. This is like ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's the thing. You just gotta stay safe. You have to understand the signals. You have to understand the SSR game. You have to understand the fact that there's so many people trapped, but why is it still easy to borrow? INPX, there was no shares to short. So there were no stuck shorts. Usually these big moves you see are from stuck shorts. So many people want to slam this. Oh, like, oh my God, it came from $3. Now it's a 4, can't be a 4, 5, 6. So they're shorting it all the way up and they're getting killed. And that's how these guys get trapped. The big moves, the big runs are usually not from longs buying it up. It's from the shorts tripping over themselves. Sometimes you just have to nail and bell, man. Remember, forward short. This is why I have the zombie rule, guys. If you're shorting, be very careful shorting after 10:30 on these plays. This is an example of a zombie. I just fucking called this a fucking zombie, dude. We called it very early in the room. It's very early. Let me find out. Let me show you where it was. Let me see. Let me see. There we go. I'm gonna post right here. I did a quick search, and this is what I saw. I wrote this at 10:19 before the zombie hour. So at 10:19, see what the stock was at. 10:19. What was that? I should have went long. If I was a super trader, I would have went long on my idea. 10:19. It was freaking $5.60, dude. $5.60. At $5.60 at the fucking low. If I was a better trader, I'm not the best trader. I just know, but I can make money. I'm just teaching what I know. If I was the best trader, I would have taken my own advice. And I said, thinking maybe zombie candidate because it dropped it to trigger the SSR and someone's still eating the stock. I won't be a long, but I'll be cautious shorting it. So I avoided the short side. I definitely won't chase the short side, but I'll be watching this as it breaks. And if it breaks that, I'll be waiting at the 750 line. Crazy, right, guys? This business of trading is hard, man. I mean, you can have all these ideas, and it's like, and this is how FOMO works. I can have FOMO. Like, oh shit, I was right. Now you're chasing it, and the only thing you do is just, hey man, recognize this, and maybe next time I want to buy long. You learn from it. But the best thing is, even though I don't trade on the long on this particular setup, I avoided shorting it. So sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you can do is to be able to avoid those traps. And then later you can monetize it. But, so at least you see this and oh, something's wrong, something's weird. Like this is the IMPX, right? Just like this stock IMPX, I said something's weird on the way down. That's why I avoided adding here. And sure enough went to 450. But when at 450, it was kind of like, based on the fact that the last 2 times it went, it never zombied. They kept on going lower for the rest of the day. So based upon all the clues you put in, you're like a detective trying to put the clues together, right? To paint the picture. I always call that. You have to paint the picture. So the picture is like more of the big idea picture, but you don't have to hold it throughout the entire time frame. But just knowing the big picture will help you in the short term trading. So I looked at the MRIN, like maybe the picture is it's going to go back up, man. It's going to zombie. So it did that, zombie, and it waited for the volume to shrink down to nothing, and then just jacked you, dude. I'm long after 1 o'clock, dude. I'm just waiting for the reversal observation. Just like I don't, I mean, like you don't want to be shorting the front side at the open of low floaters. You know what I'm saying? So there are situations that is best for longs, and there's situations that's best for shorts. I would be wanting to buy into the zombie hour on a big correction, long. So you have to understand where to go. You know, the best time to do longs and shorts. This MRN is just crazy. Look at this shit. It's crazy. It just trapped a ton of people. It's not easy to borrow anymore. So that's a good thing for those shorts. But it trapped enough people for it to zombie all the way up here. So, and then this AGEN. Let's go to this AGEN stock. Let's just finish this out. Let me play some stuff here. What else, guys? MRN is going ballistic. Just crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff. Let me track on where it could go potentially. MRIN. So MRIN. See, once again, trading during the zombie hour, shorting during the zombie hour is very scary, guys. You have to be very careful. Because it will, I mean, if you get caught like this, man, it just ruins your day. Where's this? What is it, guys? I'm trying to find this stock to see where it could potentially go. MRIN. It's at the all-time. Let's see, 1 year. $8 to $9. So $9 gap fill, like around here, dude. So there's a spike down something. So $9. This thing could potentially go $9. $9. It's crazy, right? And let's finish up the daily recap with AGEN. So here's my AGEN. I got up late, so I didn't get the nice $3.60 fills like some guys have been up. You know, I live in California, so when I got up, I read the news. I was actually at around the 360 line, didn't print, and it just tanked down. So I was like, so I started shorting and adding. It's just, I mean, I didn't know where it's gonna go. I gave a target of 275, and how did I come up with the 275 target? Let's look at the chart. So 275 was here. So remember what I say, the resistance becomes a support on the way down. So about 275 to 250. And so the low was 248. So if you want to use the true support, there's two lines here, 275 and 250. Now I'm thinking at that time it was like 340 to 20. I was like, can it really go to 250? I didn't think it could go to 250. I was like, so I took the meat of the move, which I got down to. So I added more on the walk up. So that's the thing. I covered it all here. Then went back up. I took some scalps. So I'm like, got back in and scaled here on the way to $3 and just unwinded it out. That's it. So now I'm hoping it goes back to $3. So I can short it again. AGEN, straightforward. We saw the big picture of the move. We looked at the filings. You know, it was dirty, a lot of dilution going on, a lot of, you know, and so it was a very straightforward play. You just need to get in at one point. It's going to drop down, and then you just kind of scale out. A better play would have been kept adding and adding, but I didn't keep adding. I'm hoping for that one big bounce, but that one big bounce didn't happen until way later, man. It didn't happen until 10 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't happen until all the way here. So, you know, you could, you know, you make your money. It's always hindsight. You go back, you get pissed off. You go, fuck, I should have added more, but it's tough, man. Any questions on this? This was a pretty straightforward play. AGEN, made money on it. Easy play. In hindsight, it's easy play. If you got in early, it's easy play. Any questions on that? Any questions on that? Any questions on that, guys? When is MRIN send backside? Why even? Dude, don't know. It's just too scary right now. It just took a new high. So take a look. Let's examine right now where the backside would be. Tough to call, man. 650s over under right here. But then you have another one here. The true backside is under 550. But that's way out of the money, dude. It's very difficult. You know, if it tanked down here, it's very difficult to slam more at 550 because it went down $2 already. It went on 50% down of the move. At this point, it's like I'm hoping to do the front side tomorrow based upon this. Based upon this. So I had to plan this out. I'm waiting for this area here. Because what happened, I'm looking at this and it's like, looked like a gap down. And it just started going down. So I'm hoping this area here, the gap fill around the $9 line. Who knows? I mean, who the hell knows, dude? At this point, if I look at only the intraday, not counting yesterday, I'm thinking it must hold the 720 line around here. $7. Only look at intraday. So that was a very tough play. People are stuck upside down, and it gets a little better because right now it's the shorts can't add any more to the damage. It's not easy to borrow anymore. This is one of these places that's super hard now, man. You just go from whole dollar to whole dollar now. How are you going to trade it? Take a look at. I would take a look at what this area is here. So basically, just a $9 line. Would be a kind of safe kind of play. Tough, man. Tough call. Tough call. Because even at $7, how much are you gonna make? You make 50 cents. So the meat is very tough at this point, man. It got to the point where I warned. I was like, this is very difficult play. There's much easier shit out there to play, guys. This thing could go to $9. Sure enough, look at that sucker break. $9 coming, man. There's a lot of chap people here. Okay. Any questions, guys? A short, sweet daily recap. This is probably the shortest one, but the lessons are formed, and I'll let you guys go back to trading. Cool. All right, guys. I'll save this and upload it and let you guys know. All right, thanks. I'm gonna stop this now.